Good afternoon, and thank you everyone for being here. I want to, of course, acknowledge our Chief of the Providence Police Department, Dean Esserman, members of the command staff. Many of our community partners are here, and I would like to welcome in particular Norm Orendanker from the Urban League, Pastor Jones from the Cathedral of Life, Pastor Anderson from the State Council of Churches, Tenny Gross from the Institute for the Study and Practice of Nonviolence, and many members of the staff, Cedric Huntley, Casby Harrison, thank you also for being here. John Rousseau from the Fox Point Neighborhood Association. Barbara Fields, the Executive Director of LISC. Hillary Salmons, our partner at the Providence After School Alliance. Pastor Berkeley. I know there are many representatives from the Urban League who have joined us, representatives of Family Services, many other religious leaders in the city. I want to really thank everyone for being here and for joining us in this important announcement. Each of the community partners that are behind me and many others have played a really important role in working with the extraordinary men and women of the Providence Police Department in bringing crime down to the lowest level in 3 decades. And I really want to begin by saying thank you to our partners for their dedication, the care, and their willingness to work with our great police department. But even with these very strong working relationships, we cannot overlook the increase in violence, particularly family violence, and among our youth that we've experienced over the course of the past year. Our neighborhood-based community policing model has had great success thanks to the strong relationships that develop between our police department, our partners, and the community. However, the increase in violence we saw this last year is not acceptable to any one of us, and we have the responsibility to act swiftly and decisively in the face of it. Violence, as all of you know, is a complex problem, and as a result, there is no simple one-size-fits-all solution. The success of any police department relies in part on the ability to respond to conditions as they occur. The Providence Police Department has been conducting a careful analysis of each and every case, examining patterns that have emerged, conferring with our community partners, and talking to law enforcement experts from around the country. We are stepping up our policing throughout the city and intensifying our efforts to implement and execute effective strategies that further engage our youth, that break the destructive cycle of violence, and strengthen our city's neighborhoods. I know that the men and women of the Providence Police Department share my commitment to end the violence and to save lives in this city. And under the leadership of Colonel Dean Esserman, they have demonstrated extraordinary professionalism, dedication, and effectiveness, and they really deserve the gratitude of the people of this city for the outstanding work they've done as a department. By building upon their success and strengthening our partnerships and working very closely with the community, I know that we will succeed in this mission. And I'd now like to invite Colonel Esserman to come up and share with you some of the specifics of the new initiatives.
For the past week and a half, this department has been meeting within the walls and outside in the community and with all that we work with to quickly look at what 2009 looked like. We need to analyze that crime quickly and move swiftly to respond. What we have all come to agree is that first and foremost, domestic violence reared its head this past year in Providence as it hasn't been seen in years before. That 1 out of every 3 murders in this city was domestic violence has never happened. That 8 of our 24 murders occurred between people in a relationship, living together, is something that we need to stop. First and foremost, this department commits itself to stopping the violence, to working with those that we have developed a trusting relationship with and who believe in working together to stop the violence. Accordingly, this department is taking action swiftly in 3 areas: domestic violence, the youth violence that we have seen grow, and the rowdiness on weekends in the club neighborhood. Accordingly, first, the department will come together and triage the domestic violence cases that come in our door every week. And we will not wait for the next call. We will send officers out proactively into the neighborhoods to victims and victimizers, unexpectedly, to visit them before the next call comes in. There are people living in every beat of this city where there are problems going on inside the house. We cannot wait for the next call. Secondly, there's too much violence among our youth. Almost all the violence in this city is among people who know one another, whether it is inside the home or on the street. The department will move to immediately double the size of our gang unit so that we have more officers out there engaged in the life of our young people, intervening, trying to stop the conflicts. Almost always, when a young person brings violence against another, they know one another. Rarely are they strangers. The conflicts are there and they're bringing violence to that conflict, and we need to use all that we can to interrupt that. Third, we're going to take the Major Case Detective Division and Youth Services and integrate them more fully, side by side, so that they both cover the same geography, the same districts, in a way that we hope the information will flow between those who are young committing violence and those who are now older committing violence. Next, the department seized more guns off the streets than we have in any year. More than 120 guns were taken off the street. We have a very effective task force. Guns are taken off the street every week in Providence, but not enough. So we are going to initiate a gun buyback. We are going to ask the community to help us, to spread the word. We're going to ask them to take responsibility for what is in their home, and guns to be turned in to the Providence Police Department. Every gun that we can take off our street could save a life. We have been meeting with the police chiefs in the region and with the Rhode Island State Police. And we are going to build a regional crime information sharing center on the platform of the State Fusion Center, because we are finding more and more that we are running into people from each other's communities. And we have to know faster who they are and share that information more quickly. So we will be stepping up a regional crime center that will be built on what already exists, a state fusion center. And we think that information sharing between the communities, real time, rapidly and immediately, will make a difference. And lastly, we need to increase the officers downtown on those weekend nights when people come to join the city, to come to the clubs. More and more, we are all encountering that people are coming from not just Providence, but from all around the state and from Massachusetts to come here on the weekend night. We cannot ask officers to work down in that club area without all the support they need. And to do that, we will increase the number of officers and the number of supervisors downtown with them on the weekend significantly. Those are the steps the department is going to take immediately. This department has been working hard. In the majority of communities and neighborhoods across this city, crime continues to go down. We need to focus on where the crime and violence is. We need to retool and act swiftly. I thank all those that are with us here today who have been working with us over the years and over these last 10 days, meeting every day, figuring out what we think are the best actions to take, and then taking them quickly. Thank you.